All right, let me check my microphone real quick. I thought I had all the settings set up, but I don't remember if I set the input or not. So I forgot to do that before starting the stream. Okay, so we're all good. Okay, all right. Wow, so I am going to be a little flustered tonight. I had just gotten out of an interview, a potential job interview. Well, an interview for a potential job, I should say. And I feel like I didn't do a very good job with demonstrating my problem-solving abilities, so hopefully tonight we can make that up. As always, all code for this project can be found at GitHub, repositories, Elastic IRC Bot. Tonight's stream is going to be 2018-08-02. 3, replace that with a 3 with the video number being 13. So we're going to be on video 13 tonight on YouTube. All videos can be found here. After today, I promise I'll upload them. The 3 that I did the last couple of days, or 2 that I did the last couple of days, and then the 3rd one today. Underneath, there's a playlist. This one, IRC Bot C from scratch. So that's that. Okay, so let's start off with what I want to get to tonight. First things first, I did a little updates last night. After the stream ended, I went ahead and did some cleanup, so why don't we go ahead and take a look at that real quick while I drag this screen over. Okay. Okay, so the big thing I did is I finally figured out in my CMake file how to set up the debug flag for my IDE. So whenever I compile underneath the debug flags, it should throw in this debug in there, and I will then therefore have debug statements that I can compile against. And then I removed the manual definition of that here in the elasticsearch.h file. Some other cleanup items. I went ahead and I refactored out the Elasticsearch struct to just be an empty struct. I realized that it's much easier on me to keep state manageable by putting it all within the Elasticsearch connection struct, which actually makes more sense anyway for me to do that. So here's all the updates to that. Lots of renaming of things. I replaced the if branch here. I went ahead and established the connection after the fact, so I could go ahead and I could free the connection and then the base URL, and just get all that established up here. Let's see here. I just moved some of these lines around, and that's all I did for that. Yeah, line rename, lots of renames, more renames. This is all pretty boring, but I feel like I need to get through it. One thing I didn't do in my previous videos is I forgot to free my allocated URLs from my append index document. So I went ahead and took care of that. I will always remember to do that. It may not be that night, but I will remember to free my memory later. And then that's it. So that's all I have for changes since yesterday. Tonight I want to get into switch gears a little bit. I want to stop with whatever I was doing with Elasticsearch and move back into the message parsing of the IRC messages. So I went ahead and I created a branch earlier this week that has those changes. So hopefully I don't have any merge conflicts, but just in case, I'll just go ahead and create a new branch called merger. And then I'm going to first add my changes. Can't forget to do that. What do I name my other commit messages? Let's see. So tonight is 2018-03, 08-02, or 3, sorry. So git commit -m 2018. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to amend to this later, but for now I'm going to go ahead and commit it. 03, and then live stream. All right, then I should check out master real quick. Got to get that commit in there. All right, and then I'm going to merge my other branch. What did I call it again? I called it get merge parser. Okay. I'm going to squash this if there's no issues, which there aren't. Master, yeah, and then this should give me the interesting. Whoops. Well, I thought I was going to try to squash it. It's on master. Get rebase high master. Curious that the commit, the live stream commit, is not showing up. What if I do this? No. Need a single. Okay. Whatever. Screw it. I don't care. I'll worry about that later. So where are we at now? I'll just go up here and do a diff to see. Well, no, screw it. I'm not going to go ahead and do that diff. I'm just going to dive right in. Okay. So, ooh, where did this one come from? That is not needed. We're going to go ahead and delete that. I don't know what the hell that is or why that got saved. Okay. Just make sure we're there. Okay, set up parsing for state machine. Okay. All right, so I did a lot of editing in my parser. So I'm just going to go over what I essentially did. So I had some downtime earlier this week because my computer got ruined from a flood last week. So I actually had time to actually work on this quite a bit. And then the idea hit me. So before, the problem is that I was having issues parsing out the commands for the IRC bot. The problem was, hold on, let me go ahead and pull this up here. IRC bot or IRC specification. So the problem I was running into was handling the actual parsing of the messages. So this kind of tripped me up in earlier videos for those who have seen it. What was it? Was it number 3? Sending messages, queries and commands. Not that one. Where is it at? Okay, I definitely scrolled past it. Message details. Is that it? No. Oh, I can't see. Client specification was underneath 2. Here it is. Okay, so 2.3.1 of the spec. So the problem is that there are a couple of things I need to parse out. So there's what is known as the prefix, the command, the parameters, and the the line terminating character. So this is kind of interesting to parse out because there's multiple issues with this whole space construct here. It's noted later in the spec that there is a trailing colon or space or non-specific something that can trail off the end, and that up until the line terminating character. So if we look at the actual messages from IRC, I can actually demonstrate this. So all right, so let's ignore that channel real quick. Where is my connection window at? It should be reconnecting me here in a minute. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and run this in debug mode. and my bot should join the channel at this point. So for those of you who are watching, if you want to participate, 38.229.70.22 is the IP I'm at, in the channel FLAWLZTEST. So my bot just joined, and we should start seeing some output here momentarily. Unless I missed... Oh, yeah, right. I actually screwed this up. Dang, I can't demonstrate this unless I change branches real quick. Give me a second. I forgot that my update's kind of filled with the actual output, because we won't be seeing any output for a while now, as a matter of fact. So I'll go ahead and reset it, rerun it, and now I can demonstrate what I'm talking about here. So while we wait for this to connect, we can kind of get a hint of what's going on right now. This is noted as the prefix. Nope, sorry. Up to the card.freenode.net. This is the prefix, followed by code for the command, followed by parameters. And this would be considered the trailing parameter here. It's hard to see based off this output right now. But when I actually allow spaces, it'll actually become more clear as to what's going on. So let me just go ahead and type some text here, hello world. And here is what I'm talking about. So the way this would display is that hello world is the actual text that's coming, from here. But notice there's a space. Well, I can do all sorts of things. All sorts of characters, goofiness, yada, yada, yada. And the whole lot of it should display. So the unique thing about this is that the trailing piece of the spec allows for multiple spaces. It allows for, crazy characters. It allows for all these, interesting things. All of which I can't just trivially handle with the parser. And I will go ahead and show the code here with that. Git checkout merger. Yes, that's it. Okay, so, and I'll just go pull up the spec again here. So the problem is that the prefix doesn't allow for a space. It actually ends at a space. So there is a bit of an issue with parsing here. So I couldn't just, look for a colon and then go ahead and parse it all out after the fact. In earlier videos, I tried to mention that that's kind of like a strategy that I was trying to go for, but I was iffy then, and I'm sure shit iffy now on that, because I know it's not going to work, because by the very nature of this is not recursive. This is not a recursive language, so it's a little bit more difficult to parse out in a more, or it's a little harder to parse out than it would be otherwise. Because if this was a more recursive language, then it'd be trivial for me to find key identifiers and then be able to parse out whatever comes after them. I could do that easily. But here it's a little different. This is definitely a more linear language. So that means I can implement an actual state machine that's going to be able to handle this this situation here, where I can start at the prefix, go to the command, do all the parameters one at a time, all the way up until the line ending. So I have that here. I didn't get too far implementing it because I just wanted to kind of lay out my idea to see, how well this worked. I actually have a talk on YouTube regarding state machines. Oh, nope, I'm not going to pull out that. That's a mistake. I actually have a video here on YouTube. SGF Web Devs. Where is it at? Kickstart and Automation by me, Fred Lawler. So I kind of go into a little bit more details on how state machines work in that video. I'm not a super expert in the matter, but I know enough to be dangerous. So that video is available for watching. Okay, anyway, so with that said, I went ahead and implemented a very simplistic finite state machine where I created a function pointer for handling what comes in through the input. So this will handle all the string bits. I'm going to pass in a pointer to my message that I want to create. And of course, I'm going to pass in the parser to it as well, so it can access the parser state. And then here, I went ahead and created multiple functions to handle each case that we're in, each state that we're in. So if we look back at the spec right here, this is what I'm calling the prefix state. This is what I'm calling the command state, and then this is what I'm calling the parameter state, and then I'm going to have a closing state at the end there. So I went ahead and did that. I created my little states. Prefix, I'm going to go ahead and make this a 0 so that we always start at 0 with that. And then there's the command, parameter, and then done. Next, I created an array. Oh, excuse me. Well, next I created the prototypes for my handlers that I'm defined down below. I created a globally accessible array to the scope of this file here that will just map one-to-one to my different states. And then down below, in my implementation, what I'm going to end up doing is after this state is done, I'm going to modify the message that I want to return back, and then I'm going to move on to the next state, in which this, while IRC state is not equal to done, go ahead and handle the next handler. And that's essentially what I will be doing tonight, is filling in these blanks. Probably won't have time to get to the handle parameters part because that's a bit more tricky. But as far as getting the prefix down and handling the command down, what my goal here tonight is I'm going to demonstrate that I have my prefix and my command, which is this 376 here, or down here, priv message. I'm going to have those things display by the end of tonight, hopefully. So I'm just going to dive on in. So this is what I had before for testing purposes. This is what was there before, where I kind of just commented out, but I'm actually going to remove it now because it's no longer needed. But before I was looking for, if it's a token EOF, return null, otherwise return end of line for, if there's a token end of line, or just print off without the spaces all the way up in here. So instead what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to print out the lines, not one by one. I have this parse message. So at the end of this, while parser state not equal done, so once it reaches that state, then I can do printf, do a line break there. And then what I'm going to do the next is actually, no. I will just go ahead and print these things all out in one fell swoop. So so I'm going to put a %s here for prefix. Then I'm going to make note of what is the command, and then I'm going to leave another blank for something else. But for now, it's going to be the let's see, I already have message, and we're going to pull the prefix, and then I'm going to pull the value from that, and then message. Oh, here's the interesting part. So message can be of type, or the command can be of type integer or string. So I need to check for that real quick. As a matter of fact, so the beauty of the printf is I can stop what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and stop there. Leave that as the message. Then I'm going to say if message command, the command type, command type equal to What do I have for that? Let's look at my message bus. Nope. Let's look at my message header file that contains all the data structures for this. Let's see here. We have IRC command. We'll start with code. We'll keep it simple. IRC cmd code. Then what we're going to do is print something differently. Otherwise, we're going to print the string. So print f the I think it's going to be of integer. Yeah, so I have an integer. So the code is just going to be an integer. So it's going to be integer. And then I'm going to pass it the message command. I think at this point I need a dot code. And that should do that. And then otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and print the string. Dot value. Oh yeah, this I wanted to rename that. What branch am I in real quick? Oh no, I definitely know I'm in the right branch. Let's see here. What I want to do is I want to change that from, oh, I already changed it to value. Oh, name.value. Wow. I thought ahead. Name.value. All right, that ought to do it. These are not pointers, so the dots count. Okay, and then I'm just going to print f one last time with the line break, and then that ought to do that. So we should get the prefix, if there is one. Then we're going to get the command. If it's code, return the code. Otherwise, return the value of it. So this will be the string representation. And that's that. I can get rid of all this nonsense now. Okay. I don't need to be concerned with the token anymore here. So when this is called in main, this should look like while true. Parser is going to return a message, which is that function there. So for every line, we're going to try to get it. If it can parse, go ahead and break. Otherwise, if it can't parse, well, if the thread stops and it can't parse, go ahead and break. Otherwise, go ahead and try to sleep the thread. So yeah, normally I would try to print out the message right here within this while loop, preferably after this part right here, but I'm going to ignore that for now. Just going to leave that how it is. Future. Sweet. Okay. And then, okay, so down below we're going to be in the handle prefix state. So one thing we need to worry about when we're in this state is we need to look for the first character must be a colon. So if that first character is not a colon, then we're going to go ahead and say screw it. Go ahead and go to the next state, because we can assume that we're now in the command state. So I'm only passing in the message, but I do have access to the parser. So the parser has functionality attached to it, probably private functionality. Since the prefix is optional, I'm not going to require it, so I'm not going to throw any error if I try to get the token. Parse prefix, why do I have those defined? I probably don't do anything with them. No, that's probably what I'm going to use. No, I don't have anything for that. Functions never used, unused function. Yeah, I don't know if I need that stuff. I'll comment it out for now. I don't think I'm using it anywhere anyway. It doesn't say I am. Plus, I changed my strategy up a little bit too. I might come back to those functions later and actually implement them out to kind of clean up the handle, the actual handler here. But all right, so let's get a token. So struct, what I call it, IRC token. It's been a while. IRC token. Where is my token? So struct IRC token value, not that IRC token. Okay, we're gonna make that a pointer. If toke type, toke type. What was it? IRC token is type. Okay, so IRC token is type. We're going to pass in the token. And then we're going to do token IRC token colon. Nope, not EOF, colon. If it's not that, we're going to exit immediately. So what I need to do now is I need to set the state. So parser dot state equals, not dot, arrow state equals IRC. Okay, hold on, I got a comment. Is everything recorded from beginning in vid replay? Hold on, I gotta scroll over here. I missed some of the comment. From the beginning of yeah. So the user YWOAK. Yeah, you can watch all of these videos on YouTube. Down below in the Twitch. Down below on the Twitch Ewok. Okay, that. Oh, okay. Well, I could do that. Down below, there's a link to the YouTube underneath social. It will link to my YouTube page, and it will show underneath playlist the whole series except for video 1 is there because I suck at Twitch at video 1 and I couldn't figure out how to get to keep after the recording. So after the stream, sorry. So that's why that doesn't exist. Someone asked about that last night actually. I thought that was interesting. Okay. Let's see here. Parser state. Where was I? What did I name it? I think I named it IRC parser state. Okay, so IRC parser state. The next one needs to be the command, and then I'm just going to return because this returns void. But before I return it, I have to get a token. So what was it? Shoot, what did I call it? I think it was the lexer. IRC lexer get next token. Parser lexer get that, and then I think that's all I needed. Let me check my API real quick. Yep, just pass in the lexer, get the token back. I should check for EOF as well. So why don't I go ahead and do that? I need to make sure that well, I'm already checking for EOF up here, so if the parser can parse, what about EOL? Am I checking for EOL anywhere? Let's see, in main. Yeah, I'm not looking for EOL. I think I might be looking for EOL in the actual lexer or parser, one of the two. You guys can tell I have not been in this code for a little bit. Yeah, I don't think I'm handling it at this time. I don't even know if I need to handle it at this time. Okay, whatever. Screw it. I'm just going to continue on. So we're going to get the token. I'm just going to assume that's going to be a colon for now. I'll just add a comment for myself to check later. Okay. Okay, so otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and loop over this. So while, because I know that based off the spec, I can actually stop at the space here. So I'm just going to go ahead and loop it to get to that. So while toke equals IRC lexer get next token, parser lexer. I could do that, or, well, I was gonna say I could. I do need to assign it, but at the same time, though, I don't know if I can. So this is I haven't done this in C ever. I don't know if I can actually. token is token type. Oh, yeah, see, I don't know if that would work. That'd be interesting if it does. Token space. Okay. And token not equal space. Okay. So now I should be able to, I have this eat token command thing here, so I'm going to go ahead and eat that. Parser, so that would be the parser, and then the expected, oh no, I'm not going to do that because that's going to throw an error. Okay, so while the token, next token, and not of type token space. So hopefully this works. I've never done this before where I've done an assignment and a check shortly afterwards, but this should technically work. We'll see. And then what I could do here now is actually start modifying my message. So since this comes in character by character, I should probably do some pre-buffering checks because I need to know how long this is going to be. But at the same time, I need to modify my data structure too, or append to it, but I can't just do that because the tricky thing about C here is I need to allocate all that memory beforehand, but I don't know what it is beforehand. This is where dynamic languages come in real handy right here. So I could pre-buffer it. The spec doesn't explicitly say how long the prefix can be. At least I'm pretty sure it doesn't, because the prefix is a combination of multiple things, and it can be any variable length. So can't do that. I mean, I guess I could buffer it, but I think previously what I did is I had, trying to think back to an earlier video where I may have tried to do a look ahead and do a count. Man, how did I... let's see here. How can I allocate this without having to allocate it? Okay, I'm going to call it, I'm going to play the let's just do something card here and go ahead and try to approach it later, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and give it just some, create some buffer of, I'll just give it 250. And then I'm going to go ahead and track the size of the actual 255 for good measure. Why not? And then I'm going to actually track the size of the actual length of this temporarily, so not temporarily, permanently. Prefix length, and then so here we're going to automatically start this out as 0, so prefix length equals 0. It's implied with the definition up above, but we'll keep it. And then I'm going to do the prefix lane plus plus. Oh, what just happened? Key commands. So we're going to go up that, and then at the same time, we're going to... Oh, wait, no. Oh, I know what I did. Oh, wait, no, but I still don't have the characters. Dang it. I don't know. Dang. Yeah, see, I'm not pre-allocating that message. If I was, like, I could just count it, right? And then if I had the, all the characters in one fell swoop anyway, I could just, like, do a string copy at the exact amount of characters I need to, but I can't do that here, I don't think, because this should be coming back character by character. So this could be the fault of me trying to do my lexer here. I don't know if I actually handle this. Yeah, what I could do here is I can make my lexer go ahead and do all the heavy lifting and try to parse out a string up to a space and call that a word, perhaps. But I could do that, but I'm not going to. We'll just go ahead and try to deal with this character by character with how it already is. So, okay, so Master SG 2013 asked me if I'm using C++. This is C. This is all C. It's different than C++ in that there is no object-oriented programming to this baked into the language. So yeah, not C++. Okay, so that's why I'm struggling with the string. I mean, I wish I was doing C++ right now. This would be easy because you can dynamically create strings and then just append to them because they have some sort of backing array to them, character array to them that will dynamically be resized as you approach some threshold. So that would be much more preferable to dealing with this by hand right here. But until I don't have a string library going on, so I can't use that. So I'm just have to stick with straight C. Try to pre-allocate a buffer, and then I'm just going to go ahead and copy to it. So buff, and then prefix lane equals the toke. Let's see, the toke. Oh right, I have an actual. I can't access the properties of token because I made that a forward declaring type or anonymous type, whatever it's called. In C, so what's it? IRC token, get token value, we'll do that, and then that's going to give me the actual value of the token, hopefully. Token value dot, and we know that it's of type character. Well, we don't know that. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is if I could throw an error at this point in my parser. So if token get token type is token type, sorry, so if the token is token type or not token type, sorry, of not no IRC token non-specific whatever, which I think counts for digits and characters and everything, then oh wait, no, at this point I would use my eat function. What did I define that anywhere? I don't think I did. Yeah, so I throw an error if I try to get something that I'm expecting. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Am I going to increment the while statement? Yes, I have the prefix length here. Okay, so what I'm going to do then is call my eat function, pass in the parser, and then the expected token type. Token type of not specific whatever, but before I do that I need to extract a character. So if it is anything else, so the cool thing about unions is that if this is I can't, where's the token value at? Okay, so the cool thing about a union is that if it's not one of these things, it'll be set to something. So this should just be garbage if I'm trying to access character, but really only the integer specified. So if the integer is specified and the character is not, the character will be whatever the integer is. So it kind of like all groups all the memory together. So it should be like pure garbage if I try to access something that's bad. So I'm just going to check for that, make sure that all works. And then what I'm going to do at the end, I'm going to copy the buffer. Oh, I need to memset that buffer to make sure that there's no garbage in it too. Memset, what was it, buff, and then pass in null terminating character, and then I don't know what that, I don't know if I need that last one. Whoops. Let's see. Import from mhash. No, that ain't right. I should be looking at. I am passing in stdlib. Where does memset come from? I think it might be in string. I should probably import that anyway. Include string.h. Okay, so we have the memset, and then it takes the destination, which is the buffer, and then vargs, and then the size. So that should be the buffer length of 255. And then that should zero it all out, make sure there's no garbage. Then I can safely copy all the characters over. And then when I do the str copy to the message prefix, well, before I do that, I have to allocate it. Prefix, is that a point at that point? Yeah, value. And then we're going to copy the, wait, dest? Well, the dest should be first. I don't know why it's saying this is the dest, but this should be the buff. So we're going to copy the buffer to there, but before I do that, I need to pre-allocate it. So message, prefix, length equals the str length of the, now this should stop at the actual, once it reaches that null terminating character. So I could do this, but I could be off by one. I think I might be fine because I need to do +1 on that. So prefix length, I think the +1 happens anyway once it reaches that space. It starts at 0. This could, so I'm guessing if the token is, it's not going to prefix the length anymore. So yeah, I should do a +1 there. And then I'm going to go ahead and allocate that. So message prefix value is going to be char pointer. We're going to malloc that size of char times the message prefix length. Okay, and we're going to copy that over. And then finally, we're going to do parser state equals IRC state. And go to the command. Okay, so Master SG 2013 asked me, can you use this bot to retrieve info from like an online account? And if so, can it do it in set intervals? What do you mean by online account? This is meant to sit on IRC in a channel. So what I'm intending on doing is while I'm in a channel, this bot's going to listen for commands. And right now I'm kind of parsing that out so I can do interesting stuff with it. And the goal is to send it off to Elasticsearch so I can perform reporting on it, or if I just want to count how many times someone said the word fuck in IRC. So that's kind of the point of this. I don't know what you mean by online account and set intervals. I think if you're intending that this is supposed to be like some sort of a bot that that's supposed to like travel like over the internet, it's not that sort of bot. Anyway, okay, moving on. So I'm going to go ahead and set the command or the next state, and then I think that's okay, and then I should be able to print it out up here. Let's see if I got this right. I need to eat the token, the last remaining one, to make sure that's a space, and then move the lexer to the next spot. IRC token space. Maybe. It should be on space at that point in this next iteration. So Why is this saying that the variable was not found? Oh. Okay. Let's go see the definition of that real quick. Get token type. Okay. It's current token. Sweet. All right. Okay. Do I have a function for get next token in here? I don't think I do. No, this is hard to read. Yeah, okay, I'm good. All right. Okay, so that should be my prefix. Let me go ahead and let's test it. Make sure it's working okay. Good question would be to where to put the breakpoint. I'm going to wait until I actually have some information. So what I should do here is temporarily go ahead and set the next state so I can move this along. IRC parser command. And then this one is going to set the state to param. Nope. Backwards. Because the first one already set it to command, and this one's going to be done. And then that should take care of that. Let's throw in a breakpoint here. Yeah, I'll throw a breakpoint there. All right, let's see if anything happens. So let's go ahead and build and run. Ooh, bad access. Okay. Where did that come from? Not even a stack trace. This is a first. It looks like it stopped at this breakpoint. I wonder. I should just return null. Let's see if we actually get into our first while loop here. Bad access again. Man, where the hell is this coming from? Which thread? Definitely not from thread 2, because this is the main thread. So I didn't even know this was the feature right here, but I do have 2 threads in this application. All right, let's see if I can even get it to break at least here appropriately. Not even. Something's not right. Can I break before that? This should all be functioning right up to this point here. Dang. Oh. First real problem of the night. Oh, this is oh, no wonder why I'm not seeing it. Look at that. I was in release and not in debug. Wow. Okay, this should help out immensely. Okay, so we do get there. Oh, noob alert. Okay, let's go back to where I started. I was testing the debugger stuff clearly this morning while I was getting my shots. So let's see here. Let's see if I even get into this function. Let's start there. All right, so we know we have a bad memory access issue. So it's clearly here at this part, but it should have breakpointed within my function. So I wonder why it didn't reach that. Let's see here. So it got to there, then it got to here, and then it broke. And it didn't hit my breakpoint. So what is the parser state? That's an interesting question. Well, it's in the done state. Oh, I could have just looked at this here. Okay, well, let's see what the message is. Yeah, couldn't get to that. I wonder why. Didn't set the command or anything like that. Current token, token EOF. I wonder if right off the bat this is in token EOF form. That could be a problem. Current token is EOF. Okay. Token EOF. Okay, so if it's token, go ahead and do an OR there, early terminate, and then hopefully this while loop. Oh, now we're getting somewhere. Once we start getting our first reads, it should. Well, how does it know to progress to the next token? That's the interesting question here. Did I break it? Indeed, I did. Man, so this is the problem with streaming. You always have to be careful with what you're doing. So, while true, if it can't parse, go ahead and sleep it. Otherwise, try to do that. But I'm never increasing the token here. Whereas before, I was checking for EOF. Let me go see what I was doing before real quick. Probably shouldn't have deleted that comment of code I had out earlier in my main here. Not my main here, because I actually handled this situation. So I'm getting the next token before I'm, okay, so that's probably where I screwed up, is that I need to make sure that every single check I'm getting the right token. So I should probably go ahead and I'm going to keep this. Checkout merger stash apply, and then we're back to where I started. Okay, so right, so the issue there is that I didn't copy it apparently. Okay, that's no big deal. So so the problem is I need to deallocate the current token, and then I need to check to make sure that there is something there. So deallocate struct token. I probably don't need that. So I'm just going to deallocate the current token. So deallocate token. There we go. And then I'm going to pass in the token parser current token. I'm going to get rid of that. And then what I do, I reallocated it. So parser current token equals lexer get next token, pass in the parser lexer. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my check for EOF. If parser token is type parser current token is a type IRC token EOF, return null. And then for each loop iteration, it's going to deallocate that. I'm just going to check real quick to make sure that my parser actually deallocates that token, that last token, which it does not. I need to make sure it does that. Because it may not be deallocated by the time we get to it. Current token. Cool. All right, so moving on down. Okay, so deallocate that token, reallocate it, do a check. If null, cool. Or if EOF, return null. Otherwise, go ahead and try to parse the command. So let's see if we can actually get to this part now. Now, I know there was a third line, but... Okay. So we're in the state prefix, so that's good. We have the parsers. I don't know why I'm not having access to my global data here. That'd be nice to have access to make sure that my crap's all working there. So I'm going to go ahead and send another breakpoint over to somewhere in here so I can see if I at least get there. And then let's try to shoot for the moon and get down there without causing any errors. So let's, so we got there. So this is why the memset's important, because now the buffer is completely wiped out. And then let's go ahead and try to get to the next one. Ooh, bad memory. Okay. Okay. So this time it got the bad memory here, so I wonder what caused that. The state is already done, and that shouldn't be the case. Unless we got into this right here. So let's go ahead and stop that and then get back into it. Okay, so we know we got there. Let's go in. All right, so the token is not of type token colon. What is the type of it? It is token none. Why the hell did I do that? Maybe to start it? I wonder if this was for me to check to make sure that I started it at least. Okay. Expected token 4 but got 0 instead, so the token 4 is 1, 2, 3, 4, string literal. No, this is it. Wait, no. Got 4 but expected 0 instead, so colon. Where did that happen at? So this is my custom error, so it happened on the eat somewhere, but I don't think I'm calling this eat token anywhere except in here. Interesting. Okay, so before we get that, let's see what state we're at in there. So why don't we go ahead and remove that and then check the state. Okay, so the token is of type token none. Okay. I think what I ought to do is I'm just not going to change the state and just say if it's token none, go ahead and try to continue on, because I have a feeling that I did something with that in the actual lexer there. Did not mean to copy that over. Okay, so if it's this token, I'm going to go ahead and return, so that way the token will always have something by this point. And then that ought to do it. I guess I could free the token here too, in both cases, but I shouldn't do that because I'm trying to keep track of that. Okay, let's see here. Okay, more bad access. All right. Okay, so once again we reached the done state before we should have. So let's see what the token is at this point. When it broke. Alright, token is of token none. Well, oh. Semicolon, or exclamation point. Alright, let's go ahead and rerun that again. Sweet. Alright, so the token should be colon, or not. I wonder if colon is counted as a non-specific thing. So what I should do instead then is try to well, no. No, it shouldn't be, because according to spec, it says that the no whatever is anything except for null, carriage return, line feed, space, and colon. So, with that said, token type is not colon, so go ahead and return, and then we should move along until we actually get to a colon. Bad access once again. Well, I'm just having all sorts of fun tonight. Now would be a good time to mention probably my greatest skill is probably not string parsing. I've only written so many parsers in my time. Okay, what is it this time? What's the token this time when it broke? Okay, so that's actually like shouldn't be caught. I wonder if no, I mean that's okay. Oh, you know what? I wonder if this whole issue is because let's actually run this. See where the bad memory is happening at again. Here, prefix value. So there's no prefix or value. Okay, let's do a check. Let's see if message prefix. Actually, does it already exist? I don't think I have a pointer in my message here. I do have a pointer to it. Ooh, do I even allocate it? Oh, I don't remember if I do. I thought I did. Whenever I create the message, allocate IRC message. Where am I doing that at? Oh, man, I thought I allocated it. Because I remember when I was writing this code, I thought I did, but I didn't. I deleted it because I thought I was going to do it elsewhere, because I was only going to allocate it if and only if there was a prefix to allocate, which I'm doing down here, but I didn't actually allocate the prefix itself. Wow, I'm all sorts of issues right now. So I never actually properly allocated that, but I did properly allocate this. And I'm not doing a null check because there's a potential for it to not exist. So wow, I'm screwing up. Prefix. So we'll go ahead and do an explicit check. Equal to null, not equal to null. Go ahead and print something out because we don't care to print out a non-existent prefix. So that should be that. And then funny how a little memory error can produce this much damage. So I only want to allocate it at this point. So struct IRC prefix pointer to prefix. And then I only want to allocate it when I get to at least this far. So, well, no. I could allocate it right up here. I definitely don't want to allocate it before these two things because then I have to kill them or deallocate them. So I'm just going to instead allocate it here because why not? So prefix is going to equal struct IRC prefix pointer to malloc size of, oh my gosh, size of struct IRC prefix. Okay, if that is null, then I think I want to throw some sort of an error here. Because otherwise this would be nearly impossible to debug for anyone to use this, because they're going to be like, well, where the hell is this coming from? Well, as we saw earlier, when there's a bad access, it's hard to figure out the breakpoints and try to, try to see, the call stack and, where things happen at. So if not prefix, I think I would try to do an error message here, f_f, std error. It's my favorite thing to say. I think I'm just going to kill the whole program, as a matter of fact. I'm able to allocate prefix. Maybe later, if I have time. I can always do something to, like, if I were going to run this as some sort of service, I could have something on whatever machine I host this program on, kind of look for it to see if the process ever terminates to try to restart it if it did. But I'm going to go ahead and print that out and just kind of exit. If that doesn't work, then I'm going to go ahead and remove these pieces, which is here, 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 delete, and then assign it. So this would be message prefix equals prefix and call it a day. Cool. eToken, I believe I exit program. Yes, I do. So that should clean up any outstanding memories. Build went fine. Let's go ahead and see if we actually get something back. Ah, dang it, bad access. Oh, because I didn't allocate the command this time. I am fucking up tonight. Okay. If ideally the command will already be allocated at this point. Oh my gosh. Unless I'm blind, are you zeroing out the message struct after allocating it? Can you give me a line? Aren't I zeroing out the message struct after allocating it? No, I shouldn't be. Well, definitely not here. Are you talking about in my main? Maximum dad joke? You mean here in the deallocate IRC message? Oh, sorry. No, allocate. Okay. I don't. Okay, so you're saying that message prefix will have garbage in it? Oh, 124. Okay, well that's even further down. Okay. Am I zeroing it out? No, but I am allocating it though directly. Okay, so you're saying so message prefix won't always be null. So okay, so you want me to go ahead and allocate it and then zero it out or something. I'm guessing is what you're trying to get at here. Good catch. I probably should be doing that. Because you're right, it could be pointing to some, garbage piece anywhere. Good catch. Okay, so I'm going to take maximum dad jokes. Yeah, I want to take his or her advice. I guess it doesn't matter. To go ahead and fix this mistake. So thanks for pointing it out. So let's see. I'll go ahead and do that real quick. Message pointer to the message. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I like to do if message equal that. I am missing something here. Checking my parentheses, making sure those all align. I need a final one at the end of here. Yes. Okay. If that's equal to null, return null. Otherwise, message prefix equals null, and message command Oh, you've been a C programmer for a decade? That's awesome. I have not been. So, good catch though. I mean, that's precisely why, earlier in the video, I don't know if you caught it, but I was explaining why this buffer here, when I allocate it, I was explaining why I zeroed that out, because for the same reason, when a string, when we create these buffers, they may have garbage in them. So, wow, thanks. Yeah, cool. Back on track. Okay, so if prefix is not null and command is not null, we'll go ahead and do these things. And then we should start seeing some prefixes, I guess, at this point. No, bad access, dang it. What's going on here? Let's make sure I did my allocate correctly. Yeah, if that equals to null, we can go ahead and return null. Otherwise, I need to return the message. Oh no, didn't mean to do that. Okay. Uh-oh. See this? Now we're getting all the line breaks. We do not want that. Since we're only looking at prefix right now anyway, we can go ahead and put that line break here. So hopefully we'll actually get something now. It takes a minute. It's got to establish the connections. Oh, it joined the room. So it should be printing out information, but it's not. So that tells me that the prefix is not getting any information. But we're also not getting any errors either. So I wonder if it's just casually moving on to the next state without doing anything. Let's go ahead and check this here. Let's see if we actually get something in my buffer. No? Just skips it. It If this says join right here, then we know for sure that it's screwed up. Yeah. Okay, so we're never getting that point. It's like it's getting there and then going straight to the command when it shouldn't. I want to check to make sure that that actually does give me a colon. I wonder if I'm getting a bunch of prefixes that aren't giving me any colons. Let's see here. We're at the token, non-specific. Let's move on. Weird. I wonder if my Lexer is actually not giving me that token. That would always be a good spot to check. If is colon current character, so that happens even before the non-specific there. If the character is equal to colon, well, let's just see if we even hit this, as a matter of fact. That'd be good to know. Yep, we do. Okay, so we do hit it at some point. So if that's the case, then we get here. Do I not set the token? Oh my god, do I not do that? I should. Yeah, allocate IRC token with the colon, with the value, and the characters there. Let's see. Oh, okay. Okay, so if it's token none, we're going to go ahead and return. If it's not token colon, so I wonder if... Oh. I should be running this line by line, because we were getting a whole lot of those return things here, but I'm guessing message prefix might still be null. It shouldn't be. Let's see here. Prefix equals that. Prefix length, set the value, allocate that times the length. Let's see if we get this far. I could have this string copy wrong. I don't remember if it takes the destination first. Yeah, it takes the destination first from the buffer. I could not be filling up the buffer. That's always a possibility. Alright, let's go ahead and try it out. Okay, join the room. Alright, that doesn't help at all. Dang. Where are we killing it? Do we even get here? I would like to know if I even get here to this while statement. Something tells me I'm not even getting that while statement. I am definitely not getting that while statement. That is a fact. How does the buffer get filled? It's a three-step process. Let's see here. I have a thread that I create here that will operate on the IRC read buffer thread. Here in the thread args, I'm passing in some sort of struct I created for that. So I'm getting the thread args that I pass in there which should contain some sort of a queue. Where is that at? Here. So here I'm using a library, a queue that is thread safe. I'm passing the output of the read from the socket into this, so I buffer it quite a bit, line by not necessarily line by line, because this doesn't have to operate on line by line, the socket. So just buffer it, and I'm kind of treating it as line by line. And then the Lexer is going to go ahead and take that buffer and start operating on it as if it were line by line. So I'm kind of streaming it all in. So I'm streaming it from the socket to this queue, which I call the read buffer, and then it gets passed into the Lexer to get the next token. So it's all streamed in. Clearly, I know I am getting the token, but what's happening is I know it has something to do with this right here. I don't know why it's skipping though. That's the real question. So it's like it gets that token, I'm sure, and then it. Oh, you know what? I think I know what the problem might be. Notice that the parser state. So I created a global state for a function that's supposed to be ran within a loop. So, well, there we go. It doesn't reset the state after it's done. Oh, geez. So what's happening is that it gets that first one. It says that it's not a colon or whatever. It goes ahead and tries to continue on with the state. Yeah. Yeah, this is totally a maximum dad joke right here. The state bit me in the ass. Yep, that's that. Okay, well, I hate to say it, but this is pretty much all I have time for tonight. I'm way over by an hour and 21 minutes. Thank you, Maximum Dad Joke. You have been awesome. I love it when people type in channel here. Same thing goes for you, Master SG 2013. And, well, YWOAK wanted me to call him Ewok. So, sweet. Yeah, that's all I have. Remember, so when I pick this up next week, I'm going to have this all resolved. I'm just going to take a look at it, over the weekend and try to spice it up, and I'll just create an errata section for next stream, which will have that problem solved, but good thing we figured it out. And then, let's see, I can always be found at the Twitch here at Fred Law. This video should be number 13, but all the videos up to this one can be found at YouTube, and then there's GitHub, and under GitHub repositories, Elastic IRC Bot will be the repository where this is at. Thanks for watching. Follow me, that'd be great. And then, yeah, that's all I got. Thank you, and good night.